Welcome back to another episode of Who the F***. It's the show that aims to take a deep dive into some of the acts announced Reading and Leeds 2019. In today's video, we're looking at Hobo Johnson and The Lovemakers. Mainly though, we're going to be focusing on Hobo Johnson. He's kind of a bit of a, rapper, poet. They're an indie band, is all over the place. They're from Sacramento in California. If you've never heard of them before, hopefully this video will help answer the question, who the f*** Hobo Johnson and The Lovemakers? Frank Lopez Jr., better known as Hobo Johnson, is part of Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers. They're from Sacramento in California. Genre-wise, they're described as hip-hop, spoken word, indie, like a bit of punk, elements of slam poetry. The timbre of his voice reminds me quite a bit of Chance the Rapper.
Everybody outside, when I pull up outside all night though.
We're literally just talking about like the tone of his voice, not the delivery or anything else. Apart from that, he doesn't really sound like anyone else. Initially, he was known as Homeless Johnson, but soon changed it to Hobo Johnson, as he was living in his car, which was a 1994 Toyota Corolla, which was also the name of his debut album in 2015. In December 2016, he released a series of live recordings entitled Live from Oak Park. It was at this point that I discovered him, specifically the record Romeo and Juliet.
And if Romeo and Juliet continue to be married, then there's half of a chance that their kids will get embarrassed when all the kids at school all talk about their parents and Romeo Jr. has to say they're not together.
A really open and tragic song about the realities of kind of heartbreak. This record would feature on his second album, The Rise of Hobo Johnson. On this, we'd also get the record Dear Labels.
Look at me, now dear labels, can't you see? I'm the one that fucking bleeds tears and sweats every day of the week.
A record that deals with the fact that he's quite different from other artists and in many ways is quite undesirable for a record label. The album was initially released in 2016 but was re-released in 2017 when he signed a deal with Reprise Records. Reprise is a subsidiary of Warner Music, founded by Frank Sinatra in 1960. Other Reprise artists include Michael Bublé, Eric Clapton, Green Day, Stevie Nicks, Neil Young, Deftones, Mastodon and Gerard Way. But it wasn't until he released his record Peach Scone,
or maybe it's the thought of not being so low,
that his career really started to boom. That's clearly his most popular record, currently sat on 15 million hits on YouTube. In June he released his new record entitled Typical Story.
It's a typical story where the bassist kills the singer, the guitarist and the drummer find they're in love with each other.
Which has way more of an upbeat sound to it, more of kind of like a traditional band sound, I would say. And it's a bit more guitar driven than it is hip hop, even though it clearly has like electronic drums and stuff. Not that I would describe his music as hip hop in the first place. And last week he released his newest record, Ugly Kid, featuring Elohim.
I'm such a fucking ugly kid. Such an ugly kid. Ugly enough to just wanna quit.
Both Ugly Kid and Typical Story are due to feature on his upcoming album entitled The Fall of Hobo Johnson, due out in September. And this is his first time playing Reading and Leeds. He's headlining the Festival Republic stage on the Friday at Reading and Saturday at Leeds, supported by The Chats. Clash-wise, he's going against all the Friday night headliners, so we're talking 1975, Dave, Dappy, Camel Fat, Bowling for Soup. The first time I came across his music, I was really taken aback. It was very different from anything I'd heard before. I just was a really big fan of Romeo and Juliet. I think I saw the live version before I listened to the studio version, and it's very rare this happens. That live version from Oak Parks I think I prefer it. Only other time I can think about that is like that recent Mac DeMarco thing at Glastonbury, which I can't stop listening to. But his lyrics are delivered in such a unique way, and live that feels a lot more real than it does in a studio. He kind of sounds like he's breaking down emotionally. The content is so personal that you can't help but pay attention, and it's delivered in such an easy package that you don't have to, it's not wrapped up in bizarre metaphors, it's just he's telling a story in a really interesting way. In the past couple of weeks I've been listening to him more and more. Typical Story has been on repeat quite a lot in my playlist, and you know that Friday at Reading is a bit of a strange one. So I've got tickets to see 1975 in September in Brisbane when I'm back, so I'm not in like a massive desire to see them start to finish. They're way more my girlfriend's band than they are my band, and I don't think that my brother Will is a massive fan of them, but I definitely want to check out some of their set. And I kind of feel that one of my favourite things to do is just to dot around the headliners and see a bit of everything. In addition, I'll already be at the Festival Republic stage checking out the Chats, so the chances of me checking out at least a part of this set are pretty strong. So on the likely to see scale, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. What do you think? Are you excited to see Hobo Johnson in this year's festival? Have you seen him perform before? Yeah, I think he's a great artist. I really do. I think he's really unique. It's a shame that he signed with a major, but, you know, oh well. His music's really honest and really true. It's very different. It's kind of awkward to listen to, and it challenges you as a listener quite a lot, but also it's very satisfying and cathartic. Yeah, big fan. I can see him going very, very, very far, so I think this is just the start. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.